Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you could have first heard this episode 9 months ago if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your ticks.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, this is it!
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I'm Sam Nifty Delaney, so what?
Welcome along. It's the final part of the John Noakes Odyssey. We're looking at the might of the man who was the Blue Peter's star, let's face it, in the 60s and 70s. John Noakes, and possibly his finest moment when he climbed up Nelson's column wearing some flares and a pair of trainers and a jacket.
Looking the business, to be honest, looking like the front man of a half-decent mid-90s Britpop band.
It's one of the most courageous acts by anybody ever in the history of Britain.
But the mad thing, looking back on it, is it's a legendary thing, right? I think even if you didn't... Because John Noakes wasn't quite my era. I was more of a Peter Duncan, Simon Groom era guy. But you just knew... Yeah. If you grew up in the 80s, you just knew John Noakes. And when you thought of John Noakes, you thought of Shep and you thought of climbing Nelson's column. It's just part of the cultural fabric. Do you know what I mean? You were raised with it. They taught you it in schools, right?
They did. And this is what it means to be British.
Yeah, they had pictures of him up on the wall next to a picture of the Queen and Churchill, right? And he, and so you have this notion, oh yeah, John Noakes climbed Nelson's column. Oh yeah, it was the most amazing thing of all time. It was really courageous and it was this huge deal, right? What a fucking man, what a legend. Which he is. I'm not about to say no, he isn't. But what's amazing is when you watch it back, because you have vague memories of seeing clips of it. What I've learnt from this Odyssey is you watch it back, and what's mad is you think it's going to be full of jeopardy. It's going to go on for a long time. There's going to be tense moments. It's going to be elaborate. They're going to teach you all about the methods and the ropes and the fucking carabiners that are used, right? No. What actually happens in this seminal moment of British television that you've heard so much about is that he just rocks up in his fucking jeans and trainers, looks at the ladder, and just fucking climbs up it really casually in one go.
Gets on with this.
And that's it. And he's up there in it, like, it takes him fucking 5 minutes at the most to get up there. It's amazing. And then that's it. He's
like, trip's only like 8 minutes long.
And once he's up there, he's like, oh yeah, nice view. So this thing that became a legend, I tell you what it reminds me of. Have you ever been to see the Mona Lisa in Paris, right?
I have not, unfortunately.
At the old Louvre, right? It's fucking tiny, mate. You get up there, and in your head, like you think, oh, this is going to be fucking... When I see it, it's going to fucking blow my socks off, right? Yeah, it's just a little painting. There's much bigger paintings there. I mean, I'm not saying you should only judge art on the basis of its size.
On size.
It
helps, though.
That is partly true, though. I do think it helps. There's different categories you look for when you're looking at a bit of art and you're assessing it. And one of them is, how big is it? Well, especially when it's a painting. Big paintings are better, generally, than small paintings. But the Mona Lisa, lots of people reckon it's the big dog of paintings, don't they? Yeah.
You do. Well, you always see it close up, don't you? So that's why you think it's massive.
Yeah, you see it close up, but no, it's just little.
You never see...
And seeing John Noakes climb Nelson's column was really similar to the experience of seeing the Mona Lisa in the flesh.
As one of the comedians, can't remember which one it was now, said at the Edinburgh Festival, I was there last week, the Mona Lisa, going to see that, it's all well and good, but if there was a pool table at the other side of the room, you'd be playing pool, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
let's be honest.
You would.
So yeah, Noakes, he climbs up, and there is a little bit of kind of...
We should do a Odyssey into the history of art one time. I don't know anything about the history of art, but I've always fancied the idea of learning more about it. You know, I mean, I'll go...
Seems like a lot.
I'll go to galleries sometimes, and I'll have a little pipe about. Not when I say sometimes, I'm not a regular gallery goer. What I mean is, if I'm on holiday or something, like in a city break, like recently when we were in Copenhagen, you know,
a gallery there.
You have a little pipe around, don't you? And and you go, oh yeah, that's nice. But I've always thought it'd be nice to know the history of art, starting with cave paintings and then going through all the different eras, wouldn't it?
AI
art,
like that.
Exactly, yeah.
AI art. It feels like a big undertaking. I thought pigs was going to be. Thought pigs would be the biggest one we'd conquer, and we did. But
we got
art feels like
I've already suggested smells. That could be a big one.
Smells, but yeah, it could be. It's not as big as pigs.
No,
smells is a subsection of pigs.
Yeah,
isn't it? Pigs bracket smells.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they do notoriously stink. Or they don't. They're very clean animals, as everyone always says.
Well,
pig, you smell like a pig. You smell like a pig. You do.
Good.
Oh well, yeah, because they're good. They're clean. Pigs. Yes. They're the cleanest of animals.
Yes, I shall take that as a compliment. Take it as you will. I shall.
You fucking pig. Yeah, roll around in mud.
You fucking pig is a brilliant insult. It's very powerful, and it's not used that much. You've called me a pig a couple of times, and I've always thought, great insult, really good. I
have.
Yeah, you called me a pig when I was first telling you about my sleep apnea mask. But it was legit. It was a legitimate. So you're lying there in your mask like a pig, right? And I thought that is what I'm like because I sound like a pig.
Yeah, little pig in a mask.
Yeah. Oh, live breaking news! Live breaking news. Yeah. I've had a message from. Oh, here we go. Do you want me to read it out? I've had the message.
I think so.
It says, "Hi, I'm Linda. Nice to see you here." There's 3 emojis. I'm useless at understanding emojis. I'm too old. Like the younger people, it's a whole different language. I'd see if you can make sense of it. The 3 emojis she's led with are an umbrella with rain on it, an aeroplane, and a train. But a train, kind of like a monorail, it seems to be.
Right. I like all of them things.
Does that mean anything? Is that sexual?
It feels like 3, 2, 1, where there's a clue, which I've got to try and figure it out. Are we being offered some kind of trip somewhere?
Hi, I'm Linda. Nice to see you here. Hello, Linda. I'm 28.
See you here?
I'm 28 and single. Oh. Interesting.
Oh.
Here's the bit that's really got me, though. I am a gentle girl.
Oh.
Gentleness is something that is nice. I'm looking for a long-term friendship, and I like polite gentlemen. Well, I'm sorry, Linda, but I am notoriously impolite, so I don't think
out. You're a pig.
This is going to work out. I've been called by some of my closest associates a pig. And Linda, I'm going to send you a picture of me on a hot night, topless, just wearing only my pajama shorts, right?
Is this her saying this or you?
With my sleep apnea mask on.
Oh, it's you.
Right. All and right. I'm lying in bed sweating and I'm grunting through my mask like a pig. And then we'll see how interested you are in a long-term friendship with me.
Yeah.
She says, she gives me her WhatsApp number, and then she goes, we can share our daily life together and get to know each other better. Minors, please don't add me. Miners spelt with an O, not as in coal miners. I don't think she's got a problem with them. So, yeah, just thought I'd report. I'm going to report that as junk, mate. I don't like that. That bit at the end.
That bit at the end. What format has this come through on? What platform has this come through?
Old school text.
A text message? Wow. Yeah. See, that was going well until the end where she said, minors, please don't add me. Because then it's just like a group.
It's a group.
Scattergun message, isn't it? It's not specific to you.
I am very... my weak spot is that I'm easily flattered. And if I felt that I'd been singled out, then she might have had a chance of me at least respond. I'm not interested in that. Fucking hell, what was that?
What just happened there?
Oh, it was my old microphone, the one that broke. It leapt off of the shelf in some sort of suicide bid because it's jealous to see me using my new, sexier microphone. Yeah. Anyway, no, she's no good. I don't like Linda. Sorry, Linda, but no. I feel
that's a shame.
You've made me feel cheap.
Yeah, I think I had one the other day on the Instagram, which was similar, but I can't find it now.
Oh yeah, you get loads on the Instagram, don't you? How do they know? How do they know? Well, I suppose they just see pictures of kind of middle-aged men and think, he's vulnerable.
Yeah. He'll do. Yeah.
He's vulnerable
there's
to
a
our
one,
hoodwinkery.
Yeah, I just got one from someone called Rosine Bellow, who had followed me. I'm just looking at her account. And the message, she hasn't posted yet. She's following 215 people. She looks attractive. I'll give her that. And the message just said, hello. So it's my move now to respond to Rosine Bellow's...
Balls in your court,
hello.
cunt.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, honestly, right, I was talking to someone who's doing some research into AI girlfriends and loneliness, right? I know that sounds.
reply.
I know that sounds like something you say to cover up your own weird shit. No, it was research for a book. By the way. No, this is someone I know who is an author, and they're researching a book about loneliness and different ways in which it's being dealt with by people, and the AI girlfriend thing is taking off very massively this year,
really?
Because of the growth in AI being so much more sophisticated. And here's what's interesting, right? So he's interviewed some men in America who are married men, and they, whatever, they don't want a divorce. They kind of have an affection for their wife, but they feel lonely in their marriage because
they don't want the hassle.
They don't want a divorce. They don't want the admin of a divorce, and they don't. There's no ill feeling towards their wife, but there's not really a friendship there. So they just need someone, and so with an AI sort of girlfriend or what have you, it's sort of easier. So they know it's not a trick. They know it's an AI girlfriend, right?
So technically, it's not cheating. It's like using a sex doll.
Exactly, it's like that. And so you have this ongoing relationship, but there's a glitch that they'll say. They'll say something like, there's asterisks that describe what your actual physical actions are, right?
Yeah.
And apparently, incidents have happened where you're acting out having a dinner date together, right?
Right.
And this is a nice place. Yeah, what are you going to order? I'm going to have the pasta.
So it'll be like asterisk feeds you chocolate mousse from my spoon.
Precisely that, right?
Kind of thing.
It's all going well. The guy's deep into the fantasy. And by the way, not all of these fantasies are sexual at all. I mean, I think some relationships aren't sexual at all in their nature. It's just about a kind of a romantic companionship, right? And then they're sitting at the restaurant, and suddenly this AI girlfriend, who's been perfectly lovely over a period of months until this point, it just says, in asterisks, stands up, grabs steak knife, and stabs self repeatedly in the stomach in the middle of the restaurant.
Oh no!
Yeah,
AI's gone rogue.
Yeah, and so, but then
That's
it's
sexy.
like, well, this must be a glitch, right? But then now there's a suspicion that these AI girlfriends are being developed in China and Russia, and after you've been with them and you've gotten very deep with them over a long period of months, right? And it's like men develop, even though they know, deep down they know it's not a real person, they do start to develop emotions similar to real love, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so sophisticated, this AI, it knows exactly how to make you feel good about yourself, right? So you're in love and you're constantly looking at your phone and wanting to interact. Then after months and months, the AI girlfriend suddenly chucks this one in.
Yeah.
What do you think about the situation in Ukraine?
Northern Ireland.
No. Right. And he goes, well,
yeah.
What did you think of the hunger strikers? Right. Right. He goes,
I'll stick to Ukraine, I think.
Thatcher was to blame, don't you think? No, it was. What do you think about Ukraine, or something like just subtly? Right. Go, I think it's awful. I think Russia should, leave them alone. No, that's completely wrong. Like Ukraine are the aggressors here. Ukraine is a country run by fascists, and there's a huge amount of oppression, and Russia are on the side of freedom. Don't you see that?
Oh God.
There are cases where the man wants to please his AI girlfriend.
His imaginary girlfriend.
And
so
he's like,
maybe
you're right, just because he's thinking, fuck, don't want to get into an argument. It's, oh, yeah, maybe you're right. And that gives her a way and start giving a very eloquent and powerful point of view that is effectively the Russian state line. Same thing's happening from China. This is the suspicion. Are you ready for this?
Right.
These AI girlfriends are a mass honey trap designed to get inside the hearts and minds of Western men over a period of time by luring them in with sex and romance and then changing their opinions on Russia, on China, on Western foreign policy, right? On the US government.
On whether it's acceptable to eat insects or not.
All this shit. What do you think of climate change? Do you think it's real or probably not? I think it's real. Nah, you're all wrong there, mate. This is, those scientists, they're all being paid, aren't they? It's all part of a huge conspiracy. It's the same like who were behind making up COVID.
Now imagine my computer tits for a bit.
Listen, right, if you don't admit right now that climate change doesn't exist, then I'm not going to let you wank onto my tits tonight.
My cyber tits.
Oh, don't be like that. Why does it have to be an either or? Can't we agree to disagree? Afraid not.
No, not anymore.
I want you to sign something that states. I want you to start sign an affidavit saying that climate change, climate change don't exist. I want you to sign an affidavit, right?
And until then, no more tit pics.
No more cyber tits for you, mate. Fuck it. All right. I mean, I know there is a lot of differing opinion on this, so perhaps I have been a bit of a sheep. All right, fine. Climate change doesn't exist. Good. There we go. See how easy was that? That's what's going on. So beware the AI Dorises, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not everything that you think it's just nice fun and games, but in fact, they're trying to brainwash us all. It's the Manchurian Candidate en masse.
Jalapeño.
Well, it might not be around for long, because get this, I was reading this a couple of days ago. KFC Chat, which of course is the main one we've talked about before, it's in trouble. It may go bankrupt by 2024 because it's costing the company behind it $700,000 every day.
Silly cunts. Why? Because they got a load of geezers there writing the shit out.
Remember they have paying some fellas to do.
Yeah, because it's not really AI. It's actually they've got humans there typing things for everyone.
Yeah.
And they were like, to be honest, we didn't realise it was going to take off so quick. We thought, get a room, stick 20 lads in there,
10 fellas, 15 tops,
and there'll be people will be asking things, and we'll just get the fellas to see it and write something back, and we'll make out that it's been generated by computer intelligence, but it's just some lads. But it fucking took off like nobody's business.
It went viral.
We're inundated. We are absolutely inundated. The lads cannot keep up. We had to get some extra fucking workers in. Half of them barely speak English, which is a nightmare. But, you go with what you can get.
Yeah, and the lawsuits haven't started yet. There's going to be lawsuits apparently because of people's data that have been scraped.
Yeah.
Copyrighted stuff that's been scraped and pumped into the KFC chat sausage machine.
The old scrape and pump, they call it, don't they?
Scrape and pump.
In the AI
game.
Some
scrape and pump lawsuits.
Yeah.
So I don't know. AI might not be around that long.
Good. The sooner we see the back of it, the better, as far as I'm concerned. I tried to use it recently for something, and it was like insultingly bad. So, I, for one,
it did that to me as well.
Yeah.
Did you ask it about yourself? Because that's what I did about me.
No, I didn't do that. I actually tried to get it to do like out of interest. I got it to do a pitch for something, right? Yeah. About a business thing I was doing, and it asked me like 20 questions. It was free. Maybe if I pay for it. I just was interested. I thought, I can't be bothered writing this shit all the time. I'm going to see if this knows what to do. And basically, it says we'll ask you some simple questions and then we'll generate a document and it'll be amazing. Well, by the time you've answered all the questions, you've basically done all the fucking writing you would have done anyway without the AI. It just fucking regurgitates the shit. Basically, it's a fucking spell check. Do you know what I mean? Because I wrote it all myself anyway. It just fucking ironed out some spelling mistakes. The cunt.
You do that Microsoft Word, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. I'll be better off getting that paperclip cunt back.
Clippy.
He was fucking...
That's just AI. That was the originator, wasn't it?
He was the original AI.
Speaking of computers and how they're going to take over our lives and all this sort of thing, Adrian Edmondson posted this quote from Kurt Vonnegut.
Oh, yeah.
The famous writer.
Yeah.
About talking to his wife about going out to buy an envelope.
Yeah.
And she says, he said, she says, well, you're not a poor man, why don't you go online and buy 100 envelopes and put them in the closet? And he says, and so I pretend not to hear her and go out to get an envelope because I'm going to have a hell of a good time in the process of buying one envelope.
Yeah.
I meet a lot of people and see some great looking babies, and a fire engine goes by and I give them the thumbs up, and I'll ask a woman what kind of dog that is, and I don't know. The moral of the story is we're here on Earth to fart around. And of course the computers will do us out of that. And what the computer people don't realise, or they don't care, is that we're dancing animals. We love to move around.
Yeah.
And it's like we're not supposed to dance at all anymore.
Yeah.
That's right.
Really?
Why would you buy 100 envelopes online? Store them away.
Exactly. And if you look at, we have to generate content and find things to say every day on this fucking podcast, right? And if we weren't going out to buy envelopes, then we'd have nothing to talk about. I mean, Kurt Vonnegut is obviously someone who I think he'd enjoy this podcast, because I'm thinking, we could get a few episodes out of going out to buy an envelope for sure.
I mean, we get plenty out of just sitting in the Asda car park and looking at people.
Exactly.
So it's that kind of thing, yeah. Hey, anyway, John Noakes, I think.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We're almost at the end. There's not much more of it. So we got to the bit last time where he was having a rest halfway up the ladder, because if you don't, your muscles weaken. And if your muscles weaken when you're halfway up Nelson's column on a ladder,
you're in
only
trouble.
one way down.
Big time.
Big trouble. Cameraman Terry was already there. He's already at the top, which is a story in itself, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Terry got up there with all of his gear.
I feel as if that sort of somewhat belittles what Noakes has done. Because he gets up there and he thinks, what a great achievement. But when he gets there, Terry's there with a fag on the go going, all right, I've been here ages and I am to fucking camera.
I haven't had any breakfast. Fucking starving.
I got up here with a camera and a fucking microphone.
Oh, yeah, that's it, because that's what we got to last time. We were talking about how he'd got up there and maybe he'd used one of them scissor ladder platform things, and you're banging to them, aren't you?
So into them, yeah.
So, we look down and we just see all the people in Trafalgar Square, and they just look like ants. And that's the most terrifying bit of it for me when you see that. You get some kind of context about how far up he is and how perilous it is that he's made it up there in his flares and his trainers. He gets tied on to the next bit because this is what they're there for. This is the job that he's there to do, which is to clean the pigeon shit off of Nelson. What's the guy called again who was up there? Reg is his guide. Reg tells them what they're doing. He says, we scrape it off with trowels and transfer it into the buckets. I think they call it pigeon droppings. They don't use the word shit because it's Blue Peter, obviously. And John Noakes is put into a bosun's chair. And it's basically a wooden swing seat. And it's attached on to the column with ropes. And there's got a knot in it, and he has to lower himself down using this bosun's chair with a big thick rope with a knot in it. And he struggles at first, and he looks like he's properly shitting it at this point, because he thinks one false move with this rope and the whole thing's going to come loose and I'll be dead. But and the Reg tells him to kneel down a bit. He says, kneel down a bit. Noakes says, if I kneel down, I'll start praying.
There's a big there. I get big Keegan vibes from Noakes.
Yes.
And they're the same era, and this was they bestrode British culture in this era,
like
didn't
Colossi.
they? The two of them. I wonder if they ever came together, because Noakes is from Halifax, right? So they're not from the same part of the country. Where's Keegan from?
Both from Yorkshire. Keegan's Doncaster, wasn't he?
Doncaster, that's it. Oh, right. So, yeah.
South Yorkshire. They're not far away.
Oh, so they're both Yorkshiremen. Okay.
Yeah.
So they are fairly nearish to each other, and they both had this same sort of enthusiasm and energy, didn't they? A boy next door kind of Boy Scout energy and charm to them, and a kind of they were cheeky, but they were determined. Both smallish men, but with hearts like lions.
Hearts like lions, hearts bigger than their bodies.
And that's not big, but his heart's bigger. I suppose when you think about who's followed in their footsteps since, funnily enough, Sean Wright-Phillips is the first name that comes to mind.
He was the first man to scale Nelson's column without a ladder, wasn't he? Sean Wright-Phillips.
Sean Wright-Phillips, yeah. He just did it like freestyle, like parkour style.
All this stuff this week about Harry Kane moving to Bayern Munich and it's terrible, it's a great loss, the English game. Hang on a minute, Keegan's a pioneer there. He was the England captain and he fucked off to Germany.
Yeah, quite
77, 78, whenever it was.
I
did well out of it.
Putting aside the fact that I'm delighted Spurs have lost their best player, even if I discount that kind of rivalry and everything, I think it's wonderful when English players go and play for giant clubs abroad. I think that's.
Unless it's Saudi Arabia.
No, and it's Saudi Arabia. But like one of the big clubs. So like when Beckham and Owen and several English players have gone to Real Madrid over the years. Bellingham's there. He scored on his debut. The mad cunt.
Yeah.
And. And then you got like whenever one of them do it, or like when Ince and Platt and Gascoigne went to Italy when Serie A was still the biggest league. I don't know, it feels exciting, and they almost always come back better players as well for England. So I think you got to look at it like that. I mean, Harry Kane. As much as I dislike Spurs, I've always sort of thought Harry Kane, good guy, right?
Yeah,
good bloke. You can't. It's really hard to dislike him. Right,
he's been too loyal, if anything, to Spurs over the years.
And again, this will sound like it's just West Ham kind of bitterness towards Spurs or whatever, but it is a shame. I mean, he's a good guy, and he's like been the exceptional striker of his generation. I'm not being funny. It would have been a fucking complete waste for him to have spent his whole career at Tottenham.
Completely. Well, I mean, he's already. Remember that time he tried to engineer and move to Manchester City a couple of years ago, and that fell through.
I like that.
So it comes as no surprise. He's gone.
Yeah,
that's one of the great subtopics of football. Players that try to engineer moves away.
Well,
like Steven Gerrard in Chelsea. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, and then he apparently got death threats from local Scouse gangsters. Hello, la. You don't know who this is, but trust me, you don't want to be going down to Chelsea if you value your testicles.
Dangerous place, London.
Yeah, and if that could happen, I've got a couple of cousins down that way who might come and pay you a visit. Help you to settle in.
There's a lot of traffic down there. It's very easy to get run over by a car in the middle of the night.
And then you've got Madame Tussauds. It's a very scary place. Think of it, full-scale humans made out of wax. But, Declan Rice successfully engineered a move to Arsenal. It's as simple as that. And people go about these players, well, they didn't ask for a transfer request. It's actually worse when you engineer a move, right? Because what you do, if you put in a transfer request, that means you don't get a loyalty bonus. It means you've asked to leave. Yeah. So you don't get a loyalty bonus when you leave. So that's the noble thing to do. The ignoble, snakish thing to do is to engineer a move, which is whereby you go and speak to another club while you're still under contract with your current club. You tell them you want to join them. You do a deal. The agent sorts out all the personal details. And then the agent and other parties go, look, he wants to go. And it becomes a situation like... And if you don't let him go, well, it's going to be awkward because he's not going to be happy, and you might just be better. It's no point keeping an unhappy player in the club. But then what happens is, if they let it be known that there's only one club he wants to join, that limits your ability to get the price up because he's come out and said, I'm only going there. So there's no bidding war. And so effectively, he gets his cake and eats it. He gets to go, in Rice's case, he chose to go to Arsenal. He spoke to them halfway through a West Ham relegation battle and he was our captain. The whole thing was set up. City half-heartedly got involved in the battle, but they didn't really bother pursuing it because they knew that he wanted to go to Arsenal. He went to Arsenal and this is the sickening bit. West Ham had to pay him a loyalty bonus. Can you believe that shit? And that is, I mean, it happens all the time.
You sound very much at peace with it, I must say.
Oh, no, I'm not bitter about it, but what I do think is that people go, like, Declan Rice is a nice guy and whatever, he wants to go and play in the Champions League, understandable. He you know, the truth is he was too good for West Ham by the end. He was too good for West Ham. He needs to be playing at a club. I would say he's too good for Arsenal too, but he did need to move to a Champions League club, right?
Yeah.
And so fair enough, but he's also very good at kind of playing the whole boy next door. Oh, do they want to sign me? Oh, I don't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? But it's engineering a move. And Harry Kane, again, like Declan Rice, they're both nice lads, but you have to get it right. Harry Kane tried to do the same thing. The only difference is Daniel Levy and David Sullivan are different characters. David Sullivan owns West Ham, and all the money that goes in and out is effectively his. Whereas Daniel Levy, I think, is just a front man for some sort of shadowy offshore gambling syndicate or something. I don't know what it is.
Joe Lewis has been charged with all kinds of insider trading stuff, hasn't he, in America?
Yeah, so that's exactly. So that's dodgy. And Daniel Levy's job is to just make sure that, like, Sullivan thinks, 100 million, fuck it. Fuck it, we'll get him and we'll just buy James Ward-Prowse off of Southampton. That'll do. And the rest is going in old Davy Boy Skyrocket to spend on yachts.
And over at Spurs, Daniel Levy is the tits and teeth of some kind of shadowy organisation.
Yeah. But he's thinking, well, this money doesn't benefit me. I get paid what I get paid. I'm not going to fucking let this cunt engineer a move to Man City. And he didn't. And he just said, no, you got to stay. What are you going to do about it? So...
yeah, that's our football content for this week.
Yeah, sorry, we've gone way too deep there.
Back to John Noakes. We're nearly at the end. It's all right. There's only one bucket and one trowel, so John doesn't even get to scrape the shit off himself. He just has to watch. But he's properly bricking it by this point. You can see that he's pretty terrified. Maybe he's just it's dawned on him that moment when he looked down and saw all the ant people in Trafalgar Square. Yeah. That's probably when he realised, you don't look down when you're going up, do you? It's when you get to the top and you look down and think, oh, fuck, what have I done?
This, yeah.
That's why I never liked climbing trees when I was a kid. But then he goes further. He goes right up to the top at the very end of the film. He climbs up onto Nelson himself and clings onto his hat. And he says, by gum.
Underused phrase.
Gum. Yeah, by gum, your hat's a bit dirty. He says, never mind, I don't suppose anyone will see that. And the camera then kind of zooms out from wherever they've got the camera at this point. Maybe they're in a building across the square that's kind of the same height as where Noakes is. And it just looks fucking petrifying. He's clinging on to Nelson. However, 180 feet up, I think they said it was earlier on. Yeah, about 180 feet. Jesus Christ. Back to the studio to Leslie Judd, who has not been lost. She is firmly located.
I don't know if this is before or after my dad lost Judd on a horse.
Not sure. And she looks a bit sickened by it all as well, and just said she feels dizzy. Just dizzy, not like nauseous or petrified, just a bit dizzy. And then Terry the cameraman gets a shout out, and that's it really. That's your John Noakes. Nelson's